Whenever we make shoes, it always comes with a story. That's the thing that we want to say, is that soulfully made footwear has a story to tell. That it's not just something that you can buy off the rack. Hi, I'm Glice Batulan. I'm the Executive Director of Zapateria. Zapateria is the Philippines' first creative hub for footwear design and development. Zapateria was founded by Eunice Santa Ana and her father, Rico Santa Ana. They come from a long line of shoemakers, starting from the 1880s, here in the Philippine shoe capital, Marikina City. So Eunice was actually a technopreneur working in the startup industry, and Rico is a fourth-generation shoemaker. Back in 2016, Rico unfortunately got into an accident and somewhat sparked an epiphany with Eunice that beyond Rico, no one else would continue the family's heritage of being in the footwear industry. So she mixed that agile and more flexible culture of the startup scene with a very traditional aspect of the footwear industry, thus creating the concept of a creative hub such as Zapateria. There's often a connotation that Filipino footwear is cheap or it's poorly made. I beg to differ. And I think I want to challenge people to try it out. Go here, look at the shoes, buy a pair, try it out. And let's see how it would par with the other shoes that you have. I trust what we make. I trust what Filipinos can do. And perhaps it'll surprise you. The cool thing about the Filipino footwear process or shoemaking process is that, one, it's such a diverse craft. So if you look into the industry in general, you would see people who are making by machines and making by hand. And one of the amazing parts about the Philippine shoe capital is that it's a silong-silong industry. It's a backyard industry wherein almost every street has a zapatusan. And that zapatusan isn't what you would have in mind. It's a big factory. It's actually a sewing machine in the living room next to the couch, because people are really just passionate about what they do, that they do it at home, that they can build an enterprise and their own personal empires by something so handmade. We want people, specifically the younger folk, to have an appreciation of what Filipinos can do in this scene, what we can also contribute in building it up and making it move forward. It's through that experience then of being open that we also impart the learning upward to the mentors, our artisans. As a creative hub, Zapateria, we foster and nurture the next generation of designer entrepreneurs and makers. So in this sense, as long as somebody is creative and has a certain passion or interest in footwear, we try to spark that interest in them in learning straight from the bat, from scratch, how to make shoes, how to design them, how to think. What we enjoy here is that there is a continuous culture of sharing. So if you go around the hub, you would often see that it's actually a good mix of the older generation and the younger folk. They move away from that thought na gagawa lang tayo ng sapatos using leather to gagawa tayo ng sapatos using banig, using x-ray film, using trash, using bullets. Somewhat, yung very traditional thinking nila is also disrupted into something more contemporary, more resourceful and resilient in terms of design, and even craft. One, we're very happy to have a woman shoemaker here in Zapateria. Her name is Esther Santa Ana. She's actually the sister-in-law of our chief maker, Rico. She's been making shoes since she was 16. Today, she's 73, if I'm not mistaken. She could retire. She's taken care of by her family, but she's so passionate about it that she literally cannot let it go. She just keeps on making and making, because for her, that is something that inspires her to wake up every morning. And then we have Mang Ed, so our infamous zapatero who can do the Leonors and Charitos. He's one of the very, very few who can do that skin stitch style. So the thing that makes that, that construction very special is that it's somewhat like a surgical stitching on footwear, wherein you penetrate the epidermis of the leather but not go into the actual shoe.
3 years na ako dito sa Zapateria. Oh, meron ng 40 plus na akong gumagawa. Tinuruan ako nung una, yung basta mag-ganyan stage. Pero ako na nag-develop sa sarili ko na pag nakita ko kasi yung sample, nagagaya ko. Sa una, mahirap. Pagka hindi sanay, siyempre, ano yan eh. Maraming proseso kasi yan eh. Siyempre, pag nasanay ka na, alam mo na yung proseso, kung ano yung sunod-sunod na gagawin mo. Yun, madali na sa iyo. Para sa iyong marunong ka na. Hindi, alam mo, ganito yung paggawa ng sapatos. Hindi pa yan lahat, alam mo lahat. Meron ka pang, minsan, meron pang parang maling nagagawa mo na parang hindi ka pa kontento. Meron ka pang ipakikitang maganda pa, ilalabas mo yun sa pagyayari. Tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang ano natin sa Marikina, ang gawa ng sapatos.
Oftentimes, the people who go here are really just into shoes. Not even. Sometimes they just want to try something new. And once they get here and they see that we are capable of really amazing designs, it ignites something in them that maybe I can do that too. So we have a variety of different workshops that they can participate in. And yeah, you are going to be part of the entire creation process of making your own personalized or custom shoes. If you have something in mind, a design in mind, just share that with our artisans. They'll tell you how to improve it, how to make it better. If you want to be part of the actual making of it, you can. That's what we try to immerse our customers in, that through every process, they are updated, whether virtually or they can go here. Do you like this cut? Do you like this stitch? How do you want to change it? And at the end of it, once they actually wear the shoes and they show it off to their friends, they can say na, ako pumili ng tahe. Ako pumili ng material. And Zapateria helped me make that from technically a Pinterest peg to something I can wear that is fully me, and at the same time fully with a story that is shared with them. There were circumstances that made us feel that it's more difficult, specifically the pandemic. 80% of the Philippine shoe industry had to close down due to the pandemic. Everybody was at home. But that's the great part about being creative and being resilient with the ideas. So if we can't do the workshop here in the studio, we'll take the workshop at home. So we made a DIY kit so the people who are interested can make their own slippers from home or wherever they want to be. It's a challenging industry. It's a challenging world. And it really tests your patience. It really tests your drive. But you always have to go back to why you're doing it in the first place. Because if you have a very strong purpose, if you have a very strong why, it goes above and beyond the challenge. You can, have those experiences of pressure, of anxieties, of uncertainties, but you have something you want to fight for. So you keep on at it, even if it's hard. For those who are aspiring to be a footwear entrepreneur, a shoemaker, a designer maker, or anyone who just wants to be creative in a space that is impactful and challenging, determine your why first. It should always be the reason that you are building something. And it needs to be solid. It needs to be overwhelmingly something that you want to happen. Perhaps if there is a part of you that wants to explore something different or build your identity a little bit more, find yourself if you're feeling a little bit unsure or uncertain. It's a very weird piece of advice, but buy a pair of shoes. And buy a pair of shoes from here. You would be amazed how it can change you and how it could change your perspective. Zapateria envisions that we can bridge our craft, our heritage, our history, the story of Zapateria from one generation to the next. Moving forward with that continuous relationship with those who are, experienced and vetted, with those who are willing to learn. it drives us to really uphold and highlight what Filipinos can do. And at the same time, we want to build this image for the Filipino footwear industry that we don't need to be the next something. We don't need to be like this country or like that country. We can be the Philippines, and we can bring our Filipino footwear to the world.